Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to All About Healing. If you're just tuning in, I'm your host, Emily Francis, and today we had Gabriela Masala on the line, and she wrote the book Everyday Magnificent, and I can see why. She is magnificent. She's really incredible, and her energy really did light me up inside, and I love that because there are people around the world that almost serve as light switches to other people. And, sometimes I've been that light switch for other people. But, and sometimes I have been the dimmer, and sometimes people have been my dimmers and my light switch. And today, Gabriela was definitely a very, very deep light switch within me that helped me to turn on something that I've been shying away from. Because I used to always say, if you start sentences with, "I wish that I was," and you're not doing anything about it, what are you doing? Because that's a really important thing to navigate within yourself, is how often do you use the terms "I wish"? And how are you making that a reality? So instead of "I wish I was doing," you would say, "I am currently doing. I am in the process of." I wish that I could be in the lab and do real research on muscles and emotion. Well, guess what? I submitted a grant. So I'm in the process of doing exactly what it is that I have always wanted to do, or maybe not even have always, but it's become a very strong stimulant of dream to me, and I did something about it. I hope it works, but right now it's in that waiting game. But I've always said this for many years. When I recovered from severe anxiety and panic is when I claimed my life back, and when I call it coming back into my life, kind of waking back up. And I used to say to people, if you find yourself wishing for things and you're not doing anything to make them come true, I don't want to say it's wasteful, because wishing is really powerful, but only if you're going to use it as the bridge to get to where you really want to be, because everybody really and truly does deserve the life that they create. That's just the truth. We are in charge of the life that we create, and it's tough, because when you have this big dream and you have absolutely no idea how to get there, the climbing up of that mountain is really difficult, and you're out there by yourself for a long time until you meet up with the similar like-minded people that are doing the same kind of thing, and then you start to build each other up, and then you start to become part of a team that you didn't even realize you assimilated somewhere along the way. And then you surround yourself with people that have similar visions and similar energy and similar intentions as you in your life. And then things start to magically happen, except it's not totally magic. You were a huge part of it. So today, listening to Gabriela talk about being lit up from the inside and following in her book, there's only 25 pages of writing, and then the rest is your own journal prompting. You're filling out things to make you want to enjoy yourself and your life more. We're living inside our bodies, our skin. This is the way that this is our vehicle through this life. So we want to make sure that this life is as authentic and lovely and loving and inspired as humanly possible. And the humanly part is you. It's as possible as you personally can make it for yourself, but you have to be the active participant in the succession of your life. And sometimes everybody gets stuck. And today, when I was talking to her, and I kind of mentioned that she really is living my dream. Okay, so she has a book out, I have a book out, and I've been invited to go certain places around the world. I'm starting to get more of that. I've been invited to a couple places, and I turned it down because I have young children. How am I going to afford it? How is this really going to work? And I keep having this little thing in my head of, I wish I could just homeschool them for maybe a year, maybe more, and we could all travel together as a family, and we could really introduce them into other cultures and parts of the world, because what a beautiful way to experience life. But I haven't done that yet. And it doesn't mean that I won't. And it doesn't mean that I have to have the whole thing laid out for me in a perfect opportunity, but it's a serious leap, and it's something to aspire to do. So when I ask Gabriela where does she teach her workshops, she says, I show up everywhere that I'm invited. Like, what? And she homeschools her daughter and brings her to these places. What a cool thing to do. And I don't know, I had this like deep belly laugh of sheer excitement and giddiness listening to her, because she really is many, many, many steps ahead of a very similar path that I'm on. And everybody, you know, I love the yoga way of life, which is to meet everybody where they are. Not where I want you to be, not where I think you should be. I hate the word should, you know that, if anybody listens to me. But the yoga way of life is that you meet everyone exactly where they are. And then if you're blessed, you meet people that inspire you to want to continue on that path and come into a different, more vulnerable, personal, centered, powerful place of peace and balance and vitality that comes from within and then is expressed through your life and through the decisions that you make and the places that you go. And she is definitely one of those people that I am grateful, even just today for the interview, and I look forward to the next one, and I want to stay in touch with her because she really has something very magnetic and powerful, and she's doing it. She's living it, you know. And that's a fine line, because I get to certain places and I feel like, wow, I am really living it. I am living it. And then the next pieces that I really want to get to, they feel like bigger leaps than I've taken. And that requires not a net. You just have to trust it. And then the net shows up when you're midair. And I know this. And she was a reminder to me today. And I hope for you too, if you needed that reminding. And if you didn't need that reminding and you're already on that accelerated path, then hopefully you felt like, yeah, I got a sister on this trail and we're rocking it together, because I feel the same way. You know, today I got the official title to my next book that comes out next spring. It's called Whole Body Healing. And I feel like I have spent the last many years healing my child out of an autism diagnosis, getting her to full, complete recovery where they removed her diagnosis. Before that, before I had the children, recovering myself from severe anxiety. So I've spent a lot of the years uncovering the depths of how the body heals from within. And now it's time to go to the next steps. And she was the reminder for me that there is a huge available world out there, and I don't have to be afraid of it. And what if I did these big leaps on purpose? On purpose, instead of feeling like somebody's standing behind me going, okay, ready? Ready? It's a trust exercise right now. I'm going to count to 3 and then secretly push you at 2 so that you can't back out, right? That's like the story of our life, or certainly mine, that if I took these big leaps, it was because somebody was standing behind promising to catch and then throwing at 2 instead of 3. And I've never been skydiving, and I have no desire to. It's not one of the things for me that sounds exciting in the least. But I know that when you're up in the plane and you're holding on to the sides and you're looking out, every person has that thought of, no, hell no, I'm not doing this. No, 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 I'm turning around. And the person that's helping you to jump out always pushes you at 2, but says they're going to count to 3. And they do that so that you won't back out. And that is brilliant and also a little bit sad. But all of us have been in that position where we're standing, maybe not ready to jump out of an airplane at so many feet high, or maybe not truly standing at the edge of a cliff per se, but we're standing at something, some place that we want to go bigger, something that we really want ourselves to do and to expand, and to know that if I weren't terribly afraid, or it is always fear, but there's a resistance that comes with fear also sometimes, and you have all these other reasons why this wouldn't work, even though secretly inside you're going, but really I wish I would. Maybe if somebody came with me, maybe this, if I had a fallback, if I had a friend, if I had, I don't know, whatever it is. Or you just put yourself out there on purpose, and you just open up to the opportunities that will present themselves to you, because there are amazing opportunities in the world for every person, for whatever it is that you want to do and become in your life. And right now, there's so much political crap, and it's making everybody feel, oh gosh, I mean, the things that I've seen on social media makes me ashamed and sad at people that I've loved for my whole life, that I'm watching and thinking, oh my gosh. And then she comes along, Gabriela, with her Everyday Magnificent, and makes me remember that, okay, don't worry about what they're doing. Worry about what you're doing. How are you making a difference in this world? How are you making a difference in your world today for you? What is it that you want to be? Who do you want to become? You know, the journal prompting and filling out that information, that really helps you to pinpoint, my favorite three questions, my big three. Who are you? What do you want? What are you willing to do to get it? And I believe that reevaluating those big three questions will keep you on the path. You don't have to stay on the same one path. You don't have to make some big goal and decide that's the goal you have to reach, even though I like to do that. But if you decide to change paths along the way, that's okay too. Just don't stop. Don't stop having a goal. And that requires evaluation, introspection, contemplation, centering, time to get in tune with who you are and who you are in the space of the universe and the spiritual team that is really trying hard to guide you and support you and comfort you. And when you take part into these fabulous journal prompting and filling out this information and playing, because she does play shops. She doesn't call them workshops or classes. She calls them play shops, because to her, life is a game and you're playing and you're dancing your way through it, and she wants you to embrace it. And I do too. And I needed that reminder. So thank you, Gabriela. You guys, make it a great week. We will see you back here next week. Don't forget, starting in July, All About Healing goes live. See you guys next week. Make it a great one.